All right. So welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk. This is my Ask Ivy show where I take your personal questions and I deliver out messages from spirit. Any type of question goes. You drop a $10 donation and I will give you an answer. So if you have deceased loved ones or pets that you want to communicate with, you have questions about your living pet or anything in your life, from relationships to romance, to your health, wealth, travel, okay, anything goes. Do include Esmeralda Marie Rivera, everybody. Say hi, Ezzy. Freaking cute. So do include the first name of whoever you're referring to. Don't make my beautiful producer, Kim, here hunt you down for it, or the initials if you're not comfortable giving someone's first name. But it helps speed up the process for me and get you a more in-depth answer with the time available. If you need a longer reading, go to ivyrivera.psychicmedium.com. You can book me there. I do work internationally, including video readings. So if the time frames don't work out, you're in India or something like that, I just send you a video reading. You do not have to be there. Yes. Okay. Same thing for parties or psychic fairs. You can book all of those on the website. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Who do we have first? Could you get down, ma'am? Thank you. So I can know what the heck is going on in my life here. All right. So the first one is Maraid. So Maraid says, hi, Ivy. I want to buy a motorcycle within the next 2 months. What should I be focusing on financially in order to gain money to do that? What should you focus on financially to gain the money? I feel like it's going to have a lot to do with the type of motorcycle you get. So I don't know that you want to put all of your focus on like, what do I do with my finances right now? It seems pretty blatant what you need to do. And it seems pretty obvious what would be like a bad idea to be doing, right? So try not to get yourself in any extra spending right now or debt that's not necessary, the basics. But knock it off. You too, cut it out. They don't want to be outside. They don't want to be in. They don't want to, because we're in New York and it's like raining. It's been cold for 2 weeks. So this is all they do is fight these days. So anyways, as long as they don't knock over the cameras, which is not a guarantee, but I think that what happens with this motorcycle is essentially you are going to be looking at different types of engines is what I'm hearing. So this is either like involving the foot pedal or the gears, or I think it's kind of like you go opposite and push, but it's like there are different types and it's going to break down to 3 different types. And there's one that's going to be more affordable. And also I think really what you're looking for, especially if you're a beginner, if you're looking for something sort of intermediate, you don't want to make a massive investment on this thing. You want to try it out for a while. Maybe a lease is fine, but you don't want to get stuck with it forever. You may want to trade in, trade up in time. And so it's sort of an experimental thing. And so they may say, look, these engines, I don't know if a motorcycle has an engine, the way these run, these aren't as high end as these other bikes, but they're more affordable, and you may have a salesperson who's saying to you honestly, like, I enjoy these more. You can play more on these, it's almost sportier or something. So that may be a way to go. So try not to think in the box about how you pursue this purchase. Do what you know to do with your finances, keep up what you're already doing, and then look into start breaking down the different categories and types of bikes and what is going to be affordable, especially in regards to, let's say you're getting a lease or you're even leasing. I don't know if it's going to be possible to lease something used. So I'm seeing used, I'm seeing leasing, but I'm seeing like a sale. So different options there as well, possibly catching something at just the right time and it's like discounted. Okay, there are better ways to go forward with this. But also if you need to take out a loan, I feel it'll be there. All right, Maraid, have a good time. Get a helmet, be safe, enjoy. Driving off into the sunset. All right, we have from Valerie Molina. Valerie. And Valerie's question is, does my dad have any words of closure for me? Okay, and I do not have your father's first name, so I'm gonna have to go through the dads here. Valerie's dad, step forward. I feel like I don't think anything else could have been done. I don't know if you're asking these questions and or two other people, one male, one female, seem to be asking these questions. What else could have been done? What else should have been done? Backpedaling, back and forth thinking, a tug of war mentality. This feeling of like, okay, he's gone, and then it's like one step forward, two steps back. Maybe that shouldn't have happened that way, or there's a lack of closure with it. And it's like, we just need to, I feel like, lay to rest any of those questions about how he felt or how his passing went, what more could have been done. I feel like in your father's mind, he was starting to kind of slip a bit. His mind seems very active, but not in a comprehensive manner. And so, and there could have been something also heart related, but it does feel ultimately like he's having a significant amount of impact there, and he's out of the body. So even if he had been technically alive, the body was alive, I don't feel that he was in there more toward the end. He seems to be pretty good at spotting what to go to next. So he said, the other thing I want you to know, and he keeps giving you a white rose and he's pulling off the thorns. This is about closure. This is about a lack of proper goodbye, or feeling like there wasn't a proper goodbye. This is about division there. Okay. So he's giving you this white rose, hoping that this helps, but he's saying that he was very confident in where he went next. I also feel like he had a lot of people there for him on the other side. What looks like a mother, a plump lady. I see two gentlemen, one who feels more like a brother, like a cousin, a friend, brotherly cousin type. Another guy who feels like he watched over him in a paternal way. I mean, he had a lot of company, so he wasn't confused. There seems to be a lot of question about whether or not he felt alone or was alone. Okay. And so also not that. I do feel like there's a celebration coming up. So whether this is a celebration of his passing or an anniversary, any other type of celebration that would be going on right about now with you guys, I feel like he's showing up for that. And it would be good for you to work a little bit more on receiving the messages from him without feeling like something's wrong or something more needs to be said. His communication is pretty good. He does show up in dreams for you, and he has been paying more visits literally to like the bottom of your bed, which I know can get creepy, but just try to be open-minded about it. Like seeing like a full body apparition of him, or hearing him walking up, or hearing somebody walking up, to you, walking through the house. So you have a memorial area for him. It seems like some of his stuff is, if I go into the living room, to the lower left, but some of it is right directly to the right, up above a little bit more. And he also communicates with you through psychometry, touching those objects, tapping those objects, holding those objects, or talking through those objects. Okay. So work on your mediumship. Remember, communication is a two-way street. It's not just dad, come to me, dad, come to me, dad, come to me. It's how can I receive that message and communicate back with you? It is learning a new language. Okay. Check out the psychic mediumship course. He loves you very much. He's in a good place. He said, and so are you. And so are you. Okay. Even if it doesn't always feel that way. All right, we're going to move on to another one. Thank you. This one is from Manny Corregidor. Hi, Ivy. Can I get a message from my cousin's husband who passed, whose name is Bob? Okay, so this is your cousin's husband, Bob. Bob. Bob comes in here a little slow. He's just kind of strutting in. He's got good posture about him, maybe a little stiff, very sort of direct. I feel specific in everything that he did, but he definitely sort of took his time. He was to the beat of his own drum. He was a little bit in his head, where I feel like maybe all these other things were going on or being said, and he could have participated in those. And while he did it in his own way, and he did it from his own mentality, which was a little bit different. It's a little spacey. So, I feel like he brings in a certain level of authenticity. He's just real about things, and he's not going to compromise himself or his comfort, his energy level to fit in. And I feel that's a refreshing part of who he was that's going to be missed. And he's talking about giving out, it's like giving out kisses, giving out love. I feel like to the 3, it's maybe 2 females and a male, including you. Okay. But he's like blowing kisses, blowing kisses. Please give out love. I do feel like one of them needs a red rose, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be a passing anniversary, and something about the 12th or a 1 and a 2 or 2. I can't tell if this is May 12th. So anyways, you know, there are other people he's been trying to come in and sort of give peace of mind to, visit with, but say like, you know, rest assured I'm okay and I'm around. And I only feel like maybe one of them is really very receptive. You know, only one really seems to be very mediumistic. And this person, maybe like in their 40s, you know, or like middle age, but, you know, very mediumistic and empathic and psychic in the way that they see the signs and the symbols from him and try to spread it with the rest of the family and say, I know this bird was him. I know this crazy coincidence is synchronicity. There are no coincidences. There's no way I'm seeing these number patterns, you know, but it seems like everyone else is a little bit like, that's wishful thinking. And he wants that to end. Okay. He's trying. I feel like he's working his ass off, you know, and it's like so much of what he does gets rejected. This is why I push for mediumship education so hard. Okay. We need to embrace more when he's coming through. Question it less. Okay. He's also saying that, you know, with you, I feel like watch for him in rainbows. And I feel like the female he's connected to the most as well. Watch for him in rainbows and what looks like angel wings. So it could be a rainbow or a prism in the sky with like a cloud in the shape of angel wings. I mean, this is oddly specific, but he's pulling it off. Okay. So also that, give out love to everyone, and he loves you very much. I feel like you guys were good friends. Camille, thank you. Camille Parker. Camille, any messages from Spirit surrounding my pregnancy? Not really. I feel like in general, you may want to stop asking those types of questions. I don't know if this is something you've been asking a lot about, but I get a sense of like I'm being pushed, you know, I feel like Spirit's being pushed. I feel like, which is going to mean you may be pulling at info. You may be pulling for cards to be flipped. You may be pulling for answers. And there's really not a whole lot to say. I think that you've experienced everything that you were meant to, meaning you have all of the patterns, you have all of the information, you have all the pieces to the puzzle. There's really nothing more here. What you want to do now is let go, relax, and go with the flow. I'm not going to sugarcoat. There does seem to be a period of time here that may have just started in the last 1 to 2, could be 1 to 2 days. I was going to say 1 to 2 weeks. Take it how it resonates, where we have up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down going on. That could be you feeling like a roller coaster, but it looks more like a chart. If you've ever looked at a ratings chart, you know, or even a medical, if someone was doing a test, like a heartbeat, heart rate, you know, it's up and down, up and down, up and down. And I don't see it as a problem necessarily because it goes back up, you know, so we're talking progression. We're talking a certain level of normalcy, but I do wonder if it's making you feel like you're on a bit of a roller coaster. You don't like this up and down, up and down. It may also put you in a position to need additional rest or restriction. And that's fine. And I can't prescribe or diagnose, but I'm not the first one to say it. That's certainly true. Okay. So it is what it is. You're given the information, you take the information, you use it wisely, and that's it. And the rest of it feels like, even including that, enjoy the ride, go with the flow. Okay. Things are moving and progressing beautifully and as they should. Everything is right on track. Looks good. Thank you, Camille. We're going to move on to another one. And this is from, you're welcome, Manny. Tanya, another Rivera. Okay, Tanya Rivera. Hi, Ivy. Will my coaching and Reiki business take off soon? And I do not have a name. Okay. Coaching and Reiki business. See, the name is also important for me to have in situations like this, because if we got a problem with the name, we're going to have to fix the name. You guys, you need to include names with stuff, okay, that or people you're asking about. It's going to speed up the process. So what I'm feeling is that it's important for you to have something in the image, the logo and or the name that looks like maybe a feather. And you may say, well, that's the generic. Who wants to have a feather in there? You know, because for a million years, everyone did the hands. Then everyone did, you know, the healing Reiki hands. Then everyone did the angel wings. Then everyone did the lotus flower or the yoga position, you know, the lotus position. And it's like, okay, who the heck wants to have a feather on there? The point is, I think what you're talking about with your business, and I think that the angle you're coming from with it is to show people how they can cleanse and unblock and deprogram, reconstruct, get in alignment, you know, reprogram themselves in such a way that is self-empowering, not like reaching out to healers to do it for them. You know, so there's a whole element here of how do we portray that with very little. You can do it with an image. You could do it with the words that you choose. And it has to be very, very little, right? A title is like 3 words. An image and a logo, it should really be 1, maybe 2 things. So I think what you're looking at is something almost like the feather with the sage in a burning bowl, or something cleansing like smoke, you know, coming up. Anyways, you can figure out how you want to do that. But I do think that you're driven in your life contract to be a healer and a light worker through empowering the individual to unblock and then heal themselves. And so how do we portray that? That's where your success will lie. I think that people are going to get that once they work with you, maybe not immediately, but within like 3 sessions. They're going to get that and understand that about you. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go out and project that to the world and that they're going to become the type of advertising or like word of mouth that you really want. You know, it may not be enough. And so I think that where advertising is concerned, we need to see more of your face. We need to hear more of your voice. We need to hear more of your messages. So we're going to need an increase there to really get this thing sort of officially launched. If there was a date involving 3 months out from now as well, where you were like, I want to do an official launch, a soft launch, I don't know, I want to say rebranding, but it's kind of like, I want to focus more on my social media at that point. Like that's going to be the big launch. Perfect. That's in alignment with the universe. It's in alignment with your astrology. It's in alignment with, it looks like maybe Saturn moving or Mercury doing something in your chart. And so we're talking money there, okay? We're talking visibility, and we're talking people trusting you because you're speaking authentically. So these are all things that we need to see for success here. I do think that it's also a really important time for you to talk more about play and to be more playful. So sometimes we like to go out into the world and we need to be like, we need to lighten up. We need to focus on self. We need to be more playful. But we ourselves are kind of rigid and tense and hyper vigilant about work and the potential for failure. And it's like, that seeps out, you know. So talk about play and be play. And with social media, we're talking YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels, you know, all the works. A big thing for you may also be memes with quite a lot of wordiness on them. I wouldn't overdo it, you know, but like paragraph, maybe like affirmations or something you're saying. Okay, that's going to be a big thing. Keep it on brand. Should always look similar. Yeah, I see success. Give it a 1.5 years, 1 year and 8 months, 1 year and 9 months, and don't slow down around that time because you'll be tempted to. Okay, and I think you're going to feel more confident in the trajectory of everything. All right. Thank you. Oh, it's called Sage. Are you shitting me? It's called Sagebrush. Are you kidding me? It's called Sagebrush Healing and Wellness. It's like I'm psychic or something. You are freaking me out, Tanya. Oh my God. Yeah, you're good. Just keep going. Amazing. Love it. All right. Let's look at Shauna Dempsey. Can I get a general message from Spirit? For Shauna, it's like something about your car and also needing to do a little bit more play, but like interactive play. If you've been thinking around this time of going to therapy, for example, or going to talk counseling or doing something with a group of people, and these aren't like exclusive. This is something you're going through a period of time, and this has been going on probably for a month, but I really only feel it for the last week, where you've been actively taking steps where you're like, I want to be more social. These are the type of people I want to hang out with. These are the classes that I want to attend. This is what I want to do for my self-healing. So I don't care if it's like drum circles, or you're, meditating, or you're going for massages, or you're talking to a therapist. It's like, this is the stuff I want to cleanse out. This is the new energy I want to bring in and entertain. You seem to be really in alignment, which is a beautiful thing, with manifestation and law of attraction, and fully understanding that like attracts like, so what you feed, you get more of, and so what you starve will die off, right? And it'll affect your manifestation. So this is great. I do think that at times you're not taking it as seriously as maybe you need to. You're thinking, well, that's great if there's time, or this is like a hobby, or, whatever, but it really is, your self-care. And that's part of the lesson here with you karmically, is that you need to take play more seriously. You need to take self-healing and cleansing more seriously. And the universe is rating you on things like that, not like productivity, money. Universe doesn't really care about any of that. Okay, so keep it in mind. This is how your benefits come in. This is how your blessings will come in. Now, something also seems to be going on with the vehicle coming up here, and this is coming up about probably 2 weeks out. If you are thinking of getting a new vehicle, making upgrades to the current vehicle, trading anything in, make sure that's getting done around that time. Lots of support and fluidity there. All right. Thank you, Shauna. Have a good time. We are going to move on. Okay, so once I say one out loud, Kim, I'm going to have you just pop the next one up, okay? As soon as I say it out loud, you can take it, because I'm going to write the name down. All right, so we have one here from Edgar Velardes. What good things or blessings are coming to me this summer? Okay, so for Edgar, for this summer, what good things or blessings? I feel like I already answered this. I feel like you've asked this a couple times, so I don't know that I'm going to have anything new for you on this. Things really don't change that much unless you are drastically changing. And I really don't feel that happening here. So I feel like, again, even if it's redundant, this is a time for you to get involved in some projects. This is a time where communication and community is working. I'm hearing networking. Networking suggests a little less fun and friends and a little bit more work oriented, but that's okay. Resources can certainly be involved in these exchanges, and networking in the way where you're finding out better paths forward through the people you're socializing with. So it's sort of like using their mind maps, using their work maps, using their networking. It's also a period of time for you to give that out to others. So we could see a lot of exchange going on there that ends up being beneficial, maybe not literally in the summer, but more the fall going into the winter. And then even into New Year's, some gratitude coming back to you for that. So I would feed that. I think that anything you're doing with sports, I think anything you're doing outside, anything you're doing, again, with group activity is going to be good for you. I do think it's a time for you to also speak a little bit more about what you do. And so if you had something you wanted to offer with healing, maybe from a holistic standpoint, energetic, spiritual, people are really going to be all eyes on you and wanting to hear more. Like, I thought of that. That has occurred to me. I feel like that's true, but nobody ever talks about it. Is that really a thing? It's almost like they're sponges soaking this up from you. So whether it be on your social media, it be leading a group, and this may very possibly be an opportunity for you where you can lead some type of group dynamic where you're discussing more of these things. I think that's where you're having more heartfelt connections, because a lot of this other stuff, while it's fun, you may have a little bit of loneliness going on where you're feeling like, I don't know, these connections, I would like something more intimate. I would like to feel more in depth. with my relationships. And that really for you is going to come from healing others and sharing what you know. So it's a beautiful thing. Enjoy, give it out, get it back. I like this. Thank you. We're going to move on to another one. Again, if you guys are looking to get a reading on tonight's show, you're going to drop a $10 donation. You can check that out in the description above. If you are on Instagram or TikTok, Kim, my beautiful producer, is posting this in the comment section because they don't let us pin anything and they don't have a description area for things like this. So she's kind of having to post it over and over and over again. You guys are allowed 2 questions per show now because of the success. I'm not complaining, but I have had to start limiting. Okay, so you guys are allowed 2 questions per show, so feel free to drop a couple. And if you want to book a private reading with me, you can go to Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com to do that. I do work internationally. Also, I forgot to ask everyone, please stop and drop a comment of any kind. It helps me out in the algorithm. And give this video a thumbs up, share it, and please do subscribe. If you want to become a member, go to YouTube at Ask Ivy. All right, Masubi is up next. Masubi asks, any messages from Spirit or my spiritual team that I need to know? Thank you so much. For Masubi, any messages? I feel like push harder and take a nap. And that's not going to make a ton of sense, but I do feel like a headache coming on over me. Something is going on with you where you're just holding it all in. This is mostly mental. I think this is all mental. And then what happens, I can't prescribe or diagnose, but that it is, if you're so mental and you're stressed about something and you're holding it in your shoulders, it becomes physical. It becomes a problem, where you're either feeling exhausted or, again, achy. I think that this is a time for you to block some people out. You seem to be hearing from a male, and it's several people doing this in a similar way, but it's that person in particular. This could be someone immature. This could be a child. It feels like this male is just demanding a lot of you. It could also be, as a general message, anyone who feels entitled to your energy, time, attention, affection, and labor. Okay? Because this is karmic for you. So it's not just hitting in one area, but it is this person in particular that may be causing the headache. And I want to say this is time for you to hold yourself accountable. It's time for you to take responsibility for the energy that you receive and absorb and what you entertain. It's like telling this person that they need to back off, that they need to go figure some things out for themselves. It reminds me of you saying, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing right now to go make you a sandwich or cook something for you. Go get a bowl of cereal if you have to, but you're old enough to figure this out on your own. Why are you coming to me for these minuscule things? Now, I think that's symbolic. I don't think it's literally that, but I think that is symbolic of someone who doesn't want to stand on their own 2 feet, who feels that because you have in the past given them an excess of time, attention, energy, labor, affection, even when it was enabling, now they're expecting it. And so there's a dichotomy going on here, and there's a breaking away that is going on here. It's happening regardless, whether they want it, you want it, it's happening on its own. So the best thing you can do in a situation like this is to steer the ship and to determine how you're going to do that, what it's going to look like, what it's going to sound like, and make sure that you are guarding your energy against anything and anyone at this time that has been causing you distress, almost like threatening you. Will there be enough? Will I have enough? Will I pull this off? It's like, I'm letting it go. There's a time, I think, also to understand you've done everything that you should and could, and to let go, let God, let the universe, let things ride. And also speak from your truth with your throat chakra coming up here in the next 1 to 2 weeks. This could branch out for the next 2 to 4 months, but you will get tested in the throat chakra. I don't think it's a big deal. Just speak your truth and hold your ground, hold the line. And so that means that when someone disregards what you said a boundary. And if that boundary is walking away, so be it. But I pity the fool who crosses you in the next few months, because you mean business with this karmic ending. You know, it's kind of like the grand finale. It's like the last of something you've been going through for the last like 2.5 years or two years and 7 months. This is like it. This is the last of the lessons, you know, so it's not any major deal for you. It's not like you don't know, but it can be a nuisance. And I don't like when it's physically building like that, you know, so you got to get to the root of it. Okay. Christine Christine Bunch says, please tell me whatever message is coming through for me. Okay. So I feel like it's time for you to talk. I feel like you have been talking more. If you've been feeling like you're talking a lot of nonsense, and you may not even identify that you really do this, you may talk, but really not say a whole lot of anything. It's like you're entering into a period of time. This has been going on really recently, within the last few months. Well, they said months. I was going to say 2 weeks. Take it how it resonates. But it's activated a little while ago, and then it's activated in a very brief period of time ago. And then it's here again coming up in like probably 3 days. And then again, maybe at 3 to 4 weeks. It's really important that you understand the power of your speech. Speech is not just about what we say. It's about what we don't say. It's not just about what we show up for. It's about what we don't entertain. It's not just about who we deal with. It's about who we're not going to deal with at all. It's understanding what it means for you to communicate in the world as a power player who's leveling up significantly, karmically and otherwise, and how you need to maybe keep your cards close to your vest. You need to be a little more detached. You need to reserve your energy a little bit more, which is going to be pulling back on your words, pulling back on your accepting of every invite, or going after things that you have no business going after. It seems like you overreach in situations too, where you're like, what about this? What about this person? What's going on with this situation? That's like, who cares? It's not your business. It's not even your lane. Who cares? Why aren't you taking every single moment of every single day to just be in your own center, be in your own energy? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be getting to a point, I think, within the next year where someone's going to have to pay you $1 million to pull you out of that, to get all up in their stuff, you know? Because who cares? But it's almost like you're asking more of that. Like, do I care about this anymore? What am I doing? What do I care? I don't care. Why'd that thing pop in my head? I don't care. I think that's good. I think that's good for you. I think that's the beginning of the end of this process. And I think that understanding how fragile energy is, how valuable it is, and how quickly the world around you will consume all of it if you allow it to happen. You'll just get pulled along on the bumper of someone's truck. You know, it's like, absolutely, that will happen. So there is this desire to not only be more specific in your speech and communication, what you address, what you won't, but also to know that you're being seen as a power player. And so you want to come off as a little bit more queen on the throne. Okay. Mature. Queen of Swords, that works too. Mature. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to another one. This is also from Edgar. Edgar says, how is my father doing? I heard he is not doing well with his health, and I do not have a name. Okay, but Edgar's father. I don't know that I would say his health is bad, and I can't prescribe a diagnosis, but I would say it's expected. His health looks totally like what you would expect. I don't see any surprises here. I don't see any delays. I don't see him being able to go into remission for anything, or like revise anything, or be able to, even if he has moments where maybe he's not in as much pain, or he got a medication that's working. There's a lot of talk of the lungs. So this would be the heart and the lungs. Anything in the chest. There's a lot of talk of this area for him. And then some filtration, the organs down here. Even when there are medications and things that are helping with that, it's not a reversal. And again, I can't prescribe a diagnosis, but what that's going to mean is that your father has moved into a period of time in his life where everything and anyone who's helping him is maintenance. It going forward. We expect these issues to be here, and we are doing the best we can to not let them spread or get worse we're dealing with pain control, and we're doing what we can to, lower the issue also, so it doesn't like become something else. But I don't even know that we can control things there. And so it seems like there are a couple people around him, a woman in particular with a little bit of meat on her bones, a little shorter. And then it seems like a guy who comes in, high vibration, like always talking, or kind of nervous energy, or always thinking a lot, or kind of a, ADD type guy, like ADD guy. I can spot him a mile away. Him too. They seem to have realized a while ago, this is what it is. This is all it is. This is all it's going to be. And I'm not saying they gave up on him. I just feel like they came in alignment with that, and they were like, it is what it is. It's going to be hitting walls after this, and so we don't want to try to fix things as much as we want to try to focus on his quality of life the best that we can. And these two people don't seem to be the most engaging of individuals I've ever seen. So, if you're worried that your dad is maybe not having the support around him that he would like, I feel, don't take this the wrong way, he has the support around him that he's earned. He has the support around him that he deserves. And he's okay. He's right where he's supposed to be. And that'll continue. You want to manifest for him? Send him love and energy. Communicate with him telepathically. Brilliant. Brilliant. But I wouldn't fuss. Thank you, Edgar. Anne Marie is next. Anne Marie says, what lies ahead of me this year? Anne Marie, 2025. Well, let's just say for the upcoming year, because that's how you worded it. So a year from now. First of all, money stuff happening. Money, resources, money raining down, money going out. Even Steven, okay. I don't have a problem with it. 3 out from now. Could it be 3 weeks? It could. Take it out, resonates. I was going to say 3 months. So I'm going to go with my 3 months. But it's like money's coming in, resources are looking good, but you also have these expenditures. You have this need to upgrade things or to do repairs. There's a desire to also look more seriously at your investments. So whether this be debt, this be mortgages, this be any other type of investment you have, you could be looking more at that at that time and saying, how can I improve upon that? What do I have to use as leverage? How can I work this out more in my favor? Should I renegotiate any of these contracts? And if you've been debating on doing anything more with like education, research, certifications, going for something that, you know what? And this is funny because a lot of us hear that and we're like, I'm not going for any extra education. Like I would rather die. It's like, no, I do the same thing. I just went and got my drumming certification in therapeutic drum circle leadership. I had it scheduled for months. I had to travel out of state to go get it. And I never even occurred to me as it kept coming up in my astrology, my weekly tarot readings, and everyone was like, you're going to get an education, you're going to get a certificate. I was like, where? No, thank you. But anyways, I feel that energy with you where it's like, there's something you don't see or you're not thinking of it in the way that I'm saying it. Eventually it'll make sense. But if you are feeling drawn to any kind of self-development that would also involve some level of spiritual development for you, but your resources, it would be something that you can, get paid for. It would be maybe resources in the way of exchange energetically with others. I'm hearing activation, expansion. There also seems to be some travel coming up. So I see you wanting to sort of like hop on a motorcycle or hop on a bike, or what is it with the motorcycles today? It's almost like I want to hop on a bike. I want to go. It's not bicycle. It's a motorcycle. It's like, I want to do this. Now, what does that mean? A motorcycle as a symbol, it's going to represent, live free, be open to new experiences, fly by the seat of your pants. It's like, whatever, uncomplicated, right? Simplicity. And obviously travel. Right, as well. So I see this travel going on with you where you may be going somewhere, maybe 6 to 7 months out. Between the 6th and the 8th month, we've got some travel going on. And it looks like maybe you're even looking at like the West Coast, you're looking at Arizona, or you're looking at like, I see mountains, but I see almost like a desert. I see sunset. You may be doing this with a male or going to meet up with a male. Yeah, or whatever. You're just, meeting new people who are very, like the male energy that I'm getting from all of this is very laid back. It's very like, let's crack open a Corona and like enjoy the sunset. And I don't know, make some jokes about intellectual humor, like what we're observing, very observational humor. It's like kind of dry, sarcastic, and hilarious. And I think that it's very healing. It's very chill. And then after that, there may be like a new project coming into your life or a baby entering the family. And that would be more toward the end of the year. So, okay, those are a couple things. Thank you. Kathy is next. I fall down a rabbit hole with those types of questions. There's no end. It's like we could fill a year with 1 million messages. Okay, Kathy, I may be thinking of someone and hear a song with a certain meaning. Is it a family member that's passed on? Who is it? And what are they trying to tell me? I don't even know what you're trying to tell you. I don't really. Oh, is this a better? Any messages? Is this a different question from the same person? Okay. Any messages from my past, either my family on the other side or spirit? I feel like I am thinking of someone, and Sufti, hear a song as a sign. Suddenly, hear a song as a sign. What exactly are they trying to say? And who is sending me this? Well, you need to work a little bit on your mediumship here. Okay. So when somebody is sending you a song, you want to immediately stop what you're doing, whether that song comes on the radio or it pops in your head. Like if you're in the shower, usually clairaudience kicks up, so songs will pop in your head. That's where spirit communication, the weird ear ringing on the left side of the ear comes in, or it shows up in a dream, whatever it is, whenever you hear lyrics or a song comes to you, you want to stop immediately and you want to close your eyes and give it at least 5 minutes and ask, who is this from? And every song that you're receiving is quite potentially going to be from different people. Not even necessarily people. Our guides use songs, and you have 5 guides appointed to you: relationship, joy guide who watches over your spiritual development. You got a work guide, you got a, protector guide. I mean, you have to learn how to stop when it's a number pattern or an animal totem or a wild dream or song coming to you, and to do the work and to say, I'm going to pause and I'm going to ask, who sent this to me? And then listen and receive that, and then carry on the dialogue with them. Now, the best way to carry on the dialogue after that is to go look up the lyrics fully, Google it, read them all, and it'll start to become clear why that person or that spirit, that angel or that guide, right, or that pet came to you, because they're watching over that part of your life, whatever the lyrics involve. I would say that any spirit that is using music, though, is either giving you confirmation or is giving you direction. Typically, same thing with numerology. So we want to take a look at our life. This is where you are right now, okay? And this is what Spirit's big message for you is right now. Look at your life right now and look at where you're stuck. There are some things you haven't been willing to let go of. Some of them involving others, or your personal maybe sense of dependence upon others, or ideas about those relationships. But anything in your life that you haven't been willing to let go of, you are sensing that it's time for change, and you can't really have that change until you unblock, until you release, until you detox. Okay, so I always tell people, if you're getting ready for a big change, you're getting ready for a big manifestation, you're getting ready for a big level up, you're gonna have to let go. There's always a sacrifice. Out with the old, in with the new. Every time the bus stops, somebody's got to get off. And that's where you are right now. And that's what everything has really been pertaining to. Okay, also your healing, your self-healing, your sense of self-worth. So yeah, just stop, and this is for everybody. We don't need to complicate it. When you receive a message of any kind, stop. Give yourself, I would say 5 minutes is usually enough. It's usually more than enough. Close your eyes, put your phone on silent, and ask, who sent this to me? Let that answer come to you. Maybe jot it down in a notepad, and then go listen to the meaning of that number, that animal totem, those song lyrics, whatever it is, and start building a relationship with that spirit. Yes, because they are nosy and always about all of your business, and we need that. Okay, super, super important. Let's move on to another one. This is from Alicia. Again, for those of you tuning in late, no, we're not doing that. Drop a $10 donation and a question. Whatever your question is, you can ask 2 questions, which would be like donate twice, drop 2 questions. Please do include the name. The first name is fine, or the initials if you're uncomfortable with that, of anyone that you're referring to. And any type of question goes. Money, health, wealth, travel, if you have a deceased loved one or pet you want to speak to, really anything. Okay. And I will let you know what I'm getting. Let's see, what are we on? Alicia, we have this puzzle thing popping up here on TikTok. All right, let's go get that. Let's fix that. I'm gonna have to fix this. Bear with me, guys. I have to put this puzzle piece where it belongs, or I don't know. That proves I'm not a robot. All right. And where was I? Alicia. Would short-term rentals be successful for me for passive income? Get your helmet. Yes, but if you don't know what you're doing, this is going to be one hell of a ride. Okay. Dealing with tenants of any kind is sometimes a shocking experience. And just because they're short term doesn't make it any better. I would say, if anything, it can make it a lot worse. I've done both. And I think that the way I see you responding to some of the things that can happen is a little disturbing, in that I don't know that you need that stress level. Like, sometimes you have to look at the money and you have to say, is it worth it? I should be getting paid 3 times this amount for the amount of hassle I'm dealing with. But you can't charge that amount. No, you're going to get paid what you're going to get paid, you know, and you're going to have all this extra stress. So you may very quickly reach a point where you're like, I can't have chaotic events like whack-a-mole popping up here and there. And I've done everything I feel like I really can, you know, to ensure that doesn't happen. And it's like, that's where the stress comes from. I think the stress for you may come from this idea that you have put everything in place that you thought you could have or should have. Okay. So yeah, I see that you're saying, like, okay, you deal with tenants. Yes. I think that talking with people, whether it be lawyers specifically, and others who understand, based on where these properties will be, how you can get ahead of those types of issues, because it is a little bit of a different game than what you're expecting. I do think the money can be there, because it looks like, to the future, and this is in a free will zone, so I can't give 100% guarantee on what you or other people will do. But I think that within that zone, what we have is some growth, whether it be with like the economy or the town, you know, the state where you're in. Like, there seems to be more activity increasing. And so there's going to be a higher demand for it. This could also be something about job productivity. So I don't know also if maybe like factories are going up or there's something new being built, you know what I mean? But people seem to need this and want this. I also think that you may find yourself working with someone, well, this person comes up as a male. They could also be, you know, a female with a lot of dominant energy, but this quite literally to me looks like a male. So you could find yourself working with a male who is sort of partnering with you somehow, or it's like you're getting a lot of data from this person and you seem to know how to navigate these situations, meaning the paperwork itself. And I think that, and the payments and how much and in what ways, you know, and things like this. I do think at some point you may start to disagree with this person and you may say, I have other ideas. I think I could do this my own way. I think I could make more out of this. And I want to say that's going to be really important for you to do, because it's not to say that this individual is wrong, but I think your growth can be more. Okay. If you go a little unconventional with it. So yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We are going to thank you. We are going to move on to another one. I think this is also from Alicia. Well, this is from Alicia Fulvey. Will there be issues with siblings with what I do to settle my father's estate and what they get for their piece? Issues? Here's how I feel about it. You don't have to care how everybody feels. And I'm not saying be a witch, and you're not, but there's only so much sensitivity. There's only so much time. There's only so much overlooking of detail that can go on before at some point you just need to make decisions from a place of clarity and move forward and back your decisions to get something over with, to get something finalized and moving forward. And that's what's necessary. There seems to be a male and there seems to be a female who has quite a lot of masculine energy. Okay, so take it how it resonates. We're talking energy here. I don't have time to look at detail on them, but you know, someone with a lot of masculine energy, someone with a lot of both. That one did look like a male to me. That one did look like a female to me. I think that what happens with these two is that there's a sort of blame game. There's a sort of discontent. And they're not even really getting along with each other on this. I'm not saying they're in agreement with each other or in cahoots necessarily. It just seems like a very similar energy of like, well, this should have gone this way. Well, I said this before. He, though, seems to think he really should have gotten a lot more. And I don't know if that's based on his birth order or if that's based on something he feels he was promised or entitled to. So, you know, in a nutshell, what I'm going to say to you is that like, it's going to be really hard to make everyone perfectly happy. And if you worry about that too much, all you're really doing is like worried about how their feelings are. I don't feel like it's going to blow up into a full-on battle or any type of a legal situation. He is a little bit debatable and she has someone pushing her to possibly do it. But I still don't think it will likely go there. Again, I don't know if I said this earlier or not, but this is coming up in a free will zone. Which means I can't give a 100% guarantee because there are too many hands in the pot on what they will all choose to do. Every human has free will, but I would give it like an 80, 85% likelihood that like it's maybe some hurt feelings or opinions. And that's the end of that. And it should be. I wouldn't dwell on it. I would move on from it. I would cord cut, clear it out and move forward. You know, just focus on rebuilding. Thank you, Alicia. Hunter says, how can I get my energy back, physically speaking? Physically speaking, getting your energy back for you in particular looks a lot like, and I don't recommend this, you can burn really easily, but like sleeping on the sand at the beach by the water, be careful. But yeah, it feels like sleeping next to the water. Okay. And tide rises. Don't forget that too. Okay, you got your sunblock, you got your umbrella, you're taking a nap, everything's lovely. Here comes the tide, right? Like hours have passed. It can happen. I think that you being closer to water. So this could also be, if you don't have access to the beach, this could be a creek. This could be purchasing, you ever see those little Buddha fountains? There's like a ball and it's spinning and it's like quite a lot of water actually, you know, or plants. They look like bamboo. I don't even know what, but it's like bamboo and then like a water fountain, like some elaborate, invest in yourself with this, you know, invest in bringing water, that element to you in your sleep state and take a nap with it all the time. Sleep with it running every night. I do think it needs to be more than like the sound of the ocean on your YouTube at night coming from your phone. You know, I think we need to upgrade a little bit here. So there's that for you. I also feel like one of the things you need to be doing is eating more. I'm seeing hippie sandwiches. This is something that I used to make when I was a vegetarian. It was like hummus and sprouts and feta cheese on like 12 grain bread, like this nice thick, and tomatoes. It was basically like a salad on a sandwich. And I think what this is representing for you is that you need to be putting more thought into the fact that food is medicine into your body and eating a bit cleaner. It could be also eating things that are new and that you enjoy, but getting your body introduced. Like, it seems like some of the things I mentioned, maybe you don't eat very often. You know what I mean? Like, you should be eating a lot of hummus, you know, but I think that the other thing is cutting people off. You seem to have a lot of a-holes around you. I mean, honestly, you have a lot of people who are just vampires, and I know that they're everywhere, but it's like crabs in a bucket mentality. You know, they're kind of gross in the way that they just are unapologetic about taking as much from you as they can possibly get, and will act like they didn't take a thing and don't plan to reciprocate. I would be careful with that. I would definitely cut loose. You know, anyone in any situation, ranging from acquaintances to people you have more intimate relationships with that are one-sided in that way, and be like, well, change is here and I'm not, you know, not available. All right. Kathy Miller. Any of my deceased family members, mom, stepmom, grandfather Alfredo, can come through. And if they have a specific message, I'm also thinking of my pet Toby. Okay. I do want to say that I have Toby. When I go over here with Toby, I feel like almost like tripping you up. It's like, I need to get to the bathroom. I'm barely awake. I haven't even had my coffee yet. Like, I'm trying to get there. And I feel Toby around your feet, around your ankles, traveling with you, trying to get in the bathroom, or watching you from the bathroom door, or sitting on a towel. It's like a lot of healing energy coming from Toby. Also, if you've been dealing with any type of heartache or some type of a recent loss. I feel like I'm in the living room and slightly, barely to the right, almost dead center, really. Toby, some memorial stuff there. And feathers. It's not very common I see pets leaving feathers. It's like feathers in sand, or feathers in sand. Okay. Sand art even. It's like, so watch for these signs and symbols. Toby's also pretty good at visiting in dreams. It'll be quick, but it is notable. Okay, you'll remember being together, and that may have even happened last night or tonight. I'm seeing one. I also want to go riding off this message. Your mom makes me feel like you are also doing some healing in your heart. And I even want to bring your stepmom into this a little bit, because I don't know if you feel like you're going to have to fight for something, but stepmom is saying you may have to speak louder. You may have to shout, you may have to fight. You may feel like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. I don't feel like I should have to fight. I don't feel like I should have to repeat myself. I shouldn't have to revisit this topic, but it's like, you are. And I think that you're entering into a period of time where you need to make crystal clear that when you say something to someone, whether it's in a partnership, whether it's in a business relationship, boss, whatever, when you say something to someone about what you expect to get for your presence being there, they need to pay up, or it's an ultimatum. You're not asking them, you're telling them, this is what I'm worth. And if they can't pay up, you will be walking away. You don't have to let them know that. You can just do it. But I feel like you don't want to get into these types of conversations. I also feel like with this loss, you know, recently to the past, I think that some of the losses, like your mom, for example, is talking about, is the loss of these people, yes, but there could have also been some disappointing circumstances in life in general, where you're either feeling lonely or isolated, or you're feeling like things just aren't really turning out the way you had hoped. Maybe you thought it would be more fun. Maybe you thought there would be more prosperity. Maybe you thought you would feel deeper connections to the people who are currently in your life, and you're just like a little bit melancholy, you know, that Eeyore energy. And so it's like they're helping you with this, you know. It's almost like, I don't know if you're into Winnie the Pooh, but I'm seeing Piglet. You know, Eeyore had a way of having a depressive, sort of a depressive energy. It's not funny, but, you know, consistently, because of these losses and this grief. And he just saw patterns. He was good at recognizing patterns. There's nothing wrong with it. But Piglet had a way of being a little more hopeful, you know. So it's like you're coming into your Piglet era, your mom says. And I feel like that's good for you. Okay. So expect also a little bit of a turnaround in energy in the next 3 months. And they're helping you with this. A lot of love to you. And we are at time. Okay. Thank you so much to everyone who dropped a comment. If you didn't, please do so now. Even a couple emojis can help me out. Give this video a thumbs up. If you want to become a YouTube member for your monthly horoscope, you get an email reading every month. They're about to enjoy an exclusive show where I do this and give them a bunch of undivided attention and a bunch of other things. Go to YouTube at Ask Ivy and hit the join button to see your 3 different tiers of membership options, and do subscribe there. If you guys want to book anything here at the 1882 Victorian Funeral Home, we are booking up fast for the haunted sleepover experiences, the historical tours, the ghost hunts. Check us out on the Haunted History Trail of New York State. And if you want to book a reading, a psychic fair, or a party with me, I do work internationally. Go to Ivy Rivera Psychic Medium.com. I will see you guys next Wednesday for the Unbound Sage, where you drop a $10 donation and I tell you whatever is the most important message for you to hear at that time. So I hope to see you then. Thanks again, everybody. Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you, Spirit. Have a good night.